Hey Brian, thanks for sending along more photos. Let's have a look at what we've got here, and I'll try to give you whatever information I can. Okay, this big one here, I don't recognize this at all. This big first picture there, I don't know what that is. Looking more at it there, could be an incense burner. If it, I'm not sure. Oh, the photos aren't coming up. Try that again. Just a moment. Okay, there they are. Okay, the other one looks, now you've got a bell here. This is a very heavy bell with writing. I have a feeling this might be Chinese. And there's no hiragana or katakana characters in here. It's all Chinese characters. So this may come from China. Strange bell. Looks more like a ship bell maybe. So I don't know. Don't know about that one as well. 2 for 2 now. Okay, now I do know what this one. You actually have it written. Like cast iron pot has a tag on it, and that is indeed a tea ceremony pot. It's used to boil the water that's used with the tea ceremony. So the charcoal braziers would go down here, and you would boil the water up there. And just looking at this, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to say over and over and over. In fact, I should probably just make you a blanket disclaimer right now and tell you, you really need a specialist for this stuff. You really should have a professional Asian antique appraiser look at this, because I think you might have some real treasures in here. I mean, very valuable items. To my eye, a lot of it looks like it's not very valuable. But I remember when I was a dealer, how often, to my eye, it would appear that way, and then the specialists in these various fields, would see it, and then suddenly it would become hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for an item. And this is just that kind of item. I can't tell. In the auction, this could have gone for $5, or it could have gone for $500. It's hard to know. And I don't know what distinctions are made. Usually it's things like the stamp of the maker, if it has a stamp, the quality of the casting, all kinds of things like that. The condition doesn't look so good on this one. Yeah, condition's pretty bad. Not that good, but not sure. Yeah, you even said down here that the craftsmanship is not that good, but not sure. Yeah. Well, you asked me for values. If this was here in Japan, if it was mine, I would probably, if it was at the antique auction, I would give this a value of $5, probably. That's probably what it would go for at the antique auction. Now remember, that's here, where this kind of stuff is plentiful. I mean, things like this are, the reason they're so cheap is that, every house has one in their attic. It's like an old rocking chair. The rocking chairs are worth more. It's like having, every house in you go to the Midwest and everybody's got a rocking chair, right? Same type of thing. The value comes if it was made by a famous maker or impressive quality, something like that. It doesn't look so good to me. Okay, this chair, that's not a Japanese chair, or at least it's not any style the Japanese commonly use. Sometimes I'll see this type of chair used with in a temple setting for the priestess event. But even this looks more ornate than that. The Japanese don't go in for the super ornate stuff. They like the simple, unfinished wood. So I think this is Chinese. I can't comment on it. This is a tansu dresser. This could be Japanese. This is one where you should have it appraised. This could be valuable, but it's really tough to tell. The hardware front folds down. Okay, that's nice. This one's. You should try to see if that's a veneer. If that's a veneer on there, then that might not be so valuable. But if it's solid wood, hardwood throughout, it could be cherry. I don't know. If it's a solid hardwood throughout, then it might be might be very valuable. That's nice. Does it have handles on the side? The authentic ones, tansu like this, will typically have a handle on the side, and that's so that the people that own it, in the event of a fire, they can just lift, one person can lift one end, another person can lift the other one, and haul it outside real quick. Okay, you've got an art here, some art here. This is called, you're probably aware of this, it's sumie, the ink on paper, but it has some color too. Usually it's just black and white. Very, very nice. Looking at the writing there, just all Chinese characters again. It could be Japanese, but it looks Chinese as well. It's kind of got a Japanese theme, that kind of austere, natural setting. Chinese like to make more idealized, as you may know, the Chinese art tends to make more idealized stuff that's more colorful. This looks very realistic. That kind of hints that it might be Japanese. Can't read this. Right on the scroll is framed under grass. No. Probably most Japanese wouldn't even be able to read this either. This kind of stuff. When I was a dealer, at our auction, we had one gentleman who his specialty was reading old writing, and so all of us, we would have stuff like that. We'd take it over to him and ask him to read it, and he'd tell us what it said. The reason is that the Japanese used Chinese characters, and they simplified the Chinese characters about 100 years ago. And actually went through 2 rounds of simplification. So modern Japanese can't read the more complicated old writing. So if this is really old, if it's old writing, like even if it's more than, if it, even you went through 2 changes, even if it's older than World War II around, it would be hard for most modern Japanese to read. My wife usually can't read this stuff, but her father can. But he probably couldn't read this one. And this is stylized, so it's tricky. Okay, here we have 2 nice images here. Pair of frame pictures, writing on side of each. Can't see. I'm going to click on that and open it up. Let's see. I can. What do you know? I had no idea I could see them this way. Oh, I should do it this way then. Okay. It's really hard to tell. They're small. Those frames are strange. Looks like a kind of frame a Westerner would put on an Asian art. Most Japanese wouldn't do that. These look Japanese. It looks like a woodblock print. If it is a woodblock print, then it might have some value. And you can tell the woodblock print by seeing the little lines on there. But it's hard to tell. I'm not an expert on art. I'm not an expert on anything. Well, I'm an expert on old dolls. That's what I know. Okay, so there we go, that one. I can't tell you much about this one. Sorry. Hope I'm still... Yeah, I've got more photos. Okay, this is a nice doll. I used to deal with these. I'm a doll guy. Used to deal with these. Not this type of doll though. Probably not worth much. And I hate to say this to you. It looks like the taste that they had was more for what they caught their eye rather than a particular value. This looks like the collection of someone who was browsing. I mean, there's plenty of them here in Japan. Mid-level antique stores that deal in house stuff that came out of people's houses and recycle. And it's kind of like it's almost a step above a recycling type of a thing. I don't mean any disrespect to the people that have this. They may have some real treasures in there, but this really does look like the kind of stuff that I used to see because that was the market I worked in. And if that's the case, then this doll would have next to no value here in Japan, but it might have some value overseas where you are. And of course, it has value to someone who might like it. Now, this could be something nice. This takes back what I said when I'm looking at something like this. That's really nice. I wonder if that's wood or ceramic. Very, very nice. Hard to tell you about value though. Same with this. This bowl, if that's a heavy, if it's cast metal, that's nice. That bowl could be worth $100 overseas. I used to sell stuff like that in my store on eBay, and you used to get about up to bidding was like $200 or something like that. These statues will be valuable either to someone who catches their eye and they don't know anything about it, or to a collector who knows their stuff if they recognize what it is. I have no idea what this is. It looks like a lantern of some sort, light of some sort. Sorry, a brass lamp with large milk glass shade. This glass could be very valuable. That's what it is. I would often see glass shades like this. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of dollars sometimes. Not this type, but usually have the flat type. But you get these on you. Yeah, to me it would be like, what's this? And then you get it up and be holding it with care, and $200 or $300 later, the glass shade. It was the shade they were after, not the lamp itself. This could be that guy. This is a representation of a lotus decoration, and this would have been in a butsudan, a Japanese home altar. Japanese have celebrate two religions here, or they have two religions, Shinto and Buddhism. And the gods I showed you in the last video, that little god, remember this guy? You know, Ibisu, he's a Shinto god. In the Buddhist tradition, they have altars in the house, and they would decorate those with something like this vase right there and this thing right there. This could be worth some money. Usually it's part of a set, though. There should be two of them, one on each side, go on each side. I've seen these, not the vase itself necessarily. This is an ikebana vase. You can use that for flower arranging as well. These can be valuable. I've seen these things go for a lot of money. These things right here, these gold covered things. That might be worth having a look at. Have someone look at. Okay, what about these? Okay, wow. I can't comment on these except to say, wow. This is the kind of thing that when these little bird statues here. These are the kind of things that would sit on a tray and sometimes get a lot of money. I can't tell you much about them, but I think that could be something special. I get those looked at. Again, we saw these in the last video, not the same one, but something similar. Koma Inu shrine dogs, one on each side. Again, I think they're Chinese, just like the last one. I think a lot of this stuff is from China because they have both mouths open. In Japan, usually one dog's mouth is closed and the other is open. Sure, it looks like a lion, but it's really a dog. Inu means dog. So these are probably just decorative items. Looks like they're made of stone of some sort. Could be nice. These are, I used to sell stuff like this on eBay, and they get fetch a nice amount, $100 or so. That was a nice amount too. Okay, boxes. Ooh, neat. If these are puzzle boxes, which they don't look like they are, but if they're puzzle boxes, they're worth a lot of money. But I don't think they are. Puzzle boxes, you have to shift and move, and they open up. They're locked in with certain kinds of ways, but I see the locks right there. If you have any puzzle boxes, any boxes that are hard to open, hold on to that. It could be worth some money. They're not for their intrinsic value, but because people collect them now. There's collectors out there that love Japanese or Asian puzzle boxes. Hard to tell about these. People would just fall in love with this stuff. When I had my store on eBay, people would just say, "Oh, I've got to have that," and they would bid it up, get a nice bit of money for it. I'll come back to talking about eBay in a bit. I'm sorry I'm going on so long. 12 minutes and 37 seconds. Wow. I don't know what this is. Box of some sort? Oh, that's the underside of the puzzle box. Oh, the underside of the box. Okay, the wood looks nice there. Looks a nice, good grained wood. It's hard to tell. I'll be curious to see the joinery. If it's nail joints, that's not much. If it's good, solid, real joinery, that might be something. This is Chinese. I don't know. It's a nice vase. Almost no Japanese would have that in their home. Not because they don't like it. It's just not Japanese, not suitable for Japanese taste. It's bright red, unless they were going with a Chinese, motif for their decoration. So I think that's Chinese. The inside there, very nice, beautiful. The blue there. Is that 1,690 or 1,690? I don't know. I've seen this type of thing before. Let me take a trip. Have any of you guys tried these zero alcohol beer? I'm just switching on. It's great stuff. I love it. Same old story. Could be worthless. Could be worth a lot. I'm sorry I keep saying that, but I don't want to steer you. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I don't want to say you got nothing when it's actually something. This is the kind of thing that could go either way. I've seen these before. Very, very. You could get the story behind these is you get an old guy that retires from his job and he's got 20 years free after that, and he'll spend a decade working on something like this, intricately carving it, and it's a work of art. It's a life work in some ways. But here in Japan, it tends to not have a lot of interest outside of the family who made it. Once it leaves the family, nobody really wants it. It's the same way with that's old dolls and these things like these luck gods on here. Nobody wants them because it's somebody else's, I guess. Oh, this is stone, maybe. Stone into that. Wow. Nice. Okay. What the heck is this? Curved mirror, looks like a village scene. Sorry for the bad photo. That's alright. This is Chinese, not Japanese. The costumes certainly appear that way. Don't know about it. Pierced porcelain jar that is a lamp. Not sure about that. Sorry, can't tell you. It's strange that it's a lamp. I wonder if it was a secondary thing that did that, or if it came that way. Don't know. If it's not so old, I can't tell. Don't know what this is. I saw this before. Very interesting. Wish I could give you some idea. I've never seen anything like this in Japan. Strange. Although we do have something like this here that's used for shooting fireworks. An old fireworks shooter, but it's got a wrapping of rope around the edge. I don't know. What the heck is that? Oh, it's a gong of some sort. I don't know. It looks Chinese. Okay, these are kokeshi, same, just like this one right here. And they're essentially worthless. You can get, I have hundreds of these. When I was a dealer, I would get buy like a whole box, of like 100 of these for $5. I would put them on eBay, and people will pay about, if you sell it on eBay, you can get about, if you're lucky, you can get about $25 for this set. But here in Japan, nobody, it's not worth anything here. So I love them. I collect them. I've got hundreds. But the heads move, and it's nice, very nice. It's a craft item done here in Japan. Actually, the origin of kokeshi, it's interesting. It comes from the early days of infanticide. Back in the old days, life was tough in Japan, and they did selective infanticide when children were born, and the bodies of the children were put in the rivers. And kokeshi these original dolls were seen as a fetish figure to in the memory of the child that was. You get the drift. Okay, what is this? Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. Ceramics all around. I see some nice items back there. Can't tell you about these. I'm not a ceramics guy. Watch out for the plates. Some of those things can be worth a lot of money. I think I came to the end. See if I missed anything over here on your email. No, where's your email? Good. Okay. Good. Yeah, I got them all. Well, I hope that is helpful to you. I'm sorry if I haven't been too helpful. Oh, I promised you one thing. I'm sorry if I haven't been too specific, but I want to be guarded in my suggestions, because I think you might have some treasures in there, and I don't want to dissuade you from from demanding or seeking out the true value of them. Here's what I will say though: if you are willing to go the route of eBay. I was a dealer on eBay for 5 years. I was always surprised at how if you can get the right tags in there and get the right keywords in there, the people who do know what this stuff is worth often will find it, and if you can get a couple of them to find it, they'll bid it up to its true value or near its true value. But that's pretty hard to do if you're new on eBay. I was an established dealer with thousands of people that were watching my stuff, so it was easy to get the other dealers in on the bargain. So even if I didn't know what something was worth, the fair market mechanism on eBay, the free market mechanism on eBay, often allowed the customers to help me realize what the value was. Give that a try. You can go to there are people. There's a guy in California. On YouTube. And on eBay. He is. I'll try to write up here. I wonder if you can see it. SSC4 Tansu. I can't see the 4. SSC4 Tansu. TANSU. SSC4 number 4 TANSU. And he was I would call him a colleague when I was banging on eBay, and he's still in operation in California. He's a very respectable dealer. He knows his stuff like I do. He knows it better actually. He succeeded. I failed. He knew how to control his costs. Anyway, he's in California. I mean, maybe you can contact him. Maybe he'd be willing to sell your stuff for you. I don't know, at a commission. He knows his stuff. He might be able to do it. He's got the audience. Can't hurt to try. I wonder if he's still on eBay. Let me just check real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Yes. There we go. SSC for Tansu. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there he is. SSC for Tansu. There it is. Wabi Sabiya on eBay. Wabi Sabiya. I'll put the link in the email that I'm going to send you to his site. And he's up in, I think he's up in the San Francisco area. And very, very reputable dealer. Great guy. Hope this helps, Brian. Good luck to you. I hope, and yeah, send me some more photos if you have any. Sorry, I went on for 20 minutes. My goodness, see what happens when I get started. And no alcohol beer, no less. See y'all later.